Hi everyone, welcome to our data analysis with Excel Masterclass, courtesy of CIT Christians in Tech. My name is Robert Emmanuel and I'll be your instructor for today's section. We've got an exciting 2 hours ahead of us where we'll dive into the basics of Microsoft Excel and explore the world of data cleaning and analysis. Whether you're a beginner or looking to refresh your skill, this class is designed to equip you with practical knowledge and tools you need to become proficient in data analysis using Excel. Let's get started. In this section, we'll cover the basics of Microsoft Excel, data cleaning and preparation, and finally, data analysis techniques. By the end of this class, you will have a solid understanding of how to work with data in Excel and be able to apply your new skill to real world scenario. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the world of data analysis with Excel. Um,
Okay, thank you. I think the other guy left again.
that
Network
was
issue. I
yeah.
didn't want to join today's class because there was no system to connect. So I was just like, oh, let me join. The little knowledge I get from it, I'll practice later on.
Okay. I'd like to know what's your proficiency on Excel on Microsoft Excel?
On a scale of 1 to 3, I'll give myself, to be sincere, 2 or maybe
Oh,
1.5.
okay.
That
Well,
bad.
not bad, not bad, not bad. Is that's honest. But that means you understand the. If you are giving yourself 1.5, that means you understand the basics, maybe the ribbons and
Yeah,
yeah, these are ribbons,
yes,
and
yeah.
you understand the columns and the rows.
Rows and columns, yes, and simple. Would I say simple calculation or simple commands on it? Yeah.
Mm, like, so you can see my screen.
Yes, I can.
Like I'm typing a code now, like equals to, let me say, assuming I
Hey,
want to,
Jesus, my glasses.
assuming
Okay, continue.
now assuming I want to, let me paint the cells out. Assuming I want to add this and this, so can the I can use equals to, because in Excel, once you want to call a function, you have to start with the equal command. So I'm using equals to. Now click on this cell, that's A3 plus
That's A3,
plus A5.
A5.
Mm. The painted, the ones I painted blue. The
The,
cells yeah.
yes,
So
they
that's just the
highlighted the, yeah,
mm. So that's just the simple. Those are just the calculation. So you can see the
yeah.
formulas there. So those are simple calculation. So though Excel helps us to do far much more advanced calculation. Though we won't be going into that now because it should be a gradual process. Uh,
Perfect.
mm.
Okay.
So now, um, think on the last. So I told them about copy and paste and using functions. So here initially we are supposed to have 8 here. Now I copied this cell on D2. That's this arrow now that I'm pointing down here. So when I copied it
You
and
co-
I paste, did you say something?
I wanted to actually copy it and paste it there.
Yeah. Now I copied it. Let me just
Okay.
this Control C on this. I'm clicking on cell D2. So if I do Control C here,
Okay.
and now let me clean up this one. Now if I come to cell D2, I do Control C, and I come to cell J15, I do Control V,
15.
and this J15 that has copy. So
Okay.
yeah, that's just copy and paste. So a copy will just copy, just like with the normal copy and paste, cut and paste, we know.
Copy and paste.
So Control C is copy, Control V is paste.
Paste.
Mm,
I think I should remember that from basic secondary school classes.
yeah. So meanwhile, I I say using function. Now using function is this. Now I want to make reference to this. Now a basic um this is total control D. Let me insert something for okay. Now you can see this. Hello.
I am here.
Yeah. On cell A9. Sorry, can you hear me?
Uh,
Yeah. On cell
yes,
A9.
that is E9.
Yes, I made the sum that if I press my F2 key, you'll see the formula there. It's
Okay.
just here. This is here is on here the
The
sum.
A1 to A8.
Yes, yes. Here is where we call the cell the name box. What appears here is the name of the box, the name of the cell. Like if I click on a cell now, it will show the cell that is being clicked. So this name box takes care of the cell number. And if you still customize a cell, maybe rename a cell, it will still accommodate that. So meanwhile, here is just the formula bar. It takes care of any formula in your
Takes
calculation
care
on
of
your screen.
any formula in your calculation.
So
Okay. So
on this other aspect,
on this other aspect,
is
is that yes.
uh, okay. I think you need to mute for now. I think
Okay.
the voice
You can
is
you need to note for that. I think the voice
I think it's happening because my music is on record.
no because my mind is on it. Sorry, what did you say?
I was saying, I think you need to mute yourself
I
because the
was
voice
saying,
is
I think you need to
bouncing
note
back.
yourself because the voice bouncing back.
Okay. Now, this, except you want, you can mute only when you want to talk so that we'll have a free flow of the class. So, like, as I was saying, on this aspect is this cell A9 is the total. That was why, right? I had to draw this diagram here, total. So, if I press F2 key on my keyboard, it will give you the, the selections I was selected. So, I highlighted from A1 down to A8. That makes the sum. So that is what actually happened here. So that's the total. And here, if you can see in the formula bar there, so this is the formula that was used. Sum A1 to A8. So that takes care of the summary of give us the total of the whole data in that particular in those range. So as I was saying, talking about using functions. Now I can make reference to a particular cell. Now this is A9, cell A9. Now if I want to make reference to it, I will only start by writing the function, the formula equals command, because in Excel, once you want to call a function, you want to write a formula, you have to start with the equal command. So I'm saying equals to, it's either name this cell, which is A9, it will reference this particular cell. You can see it will give me the value, any value inside this particular cell is what will appear here because I'm making reference to that cell. And if this value should change, this one too will change. If I change, for instance, if I change this 500 now to 1,000, the value too will change. Are you with me?
Yes, I am.
So do you understand this process?
I do actually. It's simple and straightforward.
Okay, all right. Now I shared in the other class we did worked on this. So we now went to I shared the data set with the other class. Um, since you're not working with the laptop, I will have to bring in those that particular data here. So the idea of what we want to achieve today is to build this dashboard. I think I'm not sharing all of my screen. Let me share the
All of
full
my
screen so
screen.
that
Let me share the
Sorry,
screen so that.
sorry. I hope you know there's someone else in the class, and hope I'm not taking the person back to something he already know. Mr.
mm,
Isaac. Hello, Mr. Isaac.
I can hear you, ma.
okay, Mr. Isaac, Esther was trying to confirm if you are cool with this, but because it seems I was only
With
making
this, but
reference to her.
because it seems I was only making reference to that. So I didn't get what you said, sir.
Okay. Actually, Esther was trying to confirm if you are following or if you are cool with this because it seems I was only carrying her along. I ignored your presence. So that was why she had to call my attention to it. So can we proceed?
Oh, I feel yes, yes, we can, but I still have to. I don't track back to the last class,
Okay.
right? But I think from based on the little knowledge I have, I think I understand what you are doing so far.
Okay. Okay. Now, Ms. Isaac, what's your proficiency on Microsoft Excel? Let me know if I should take a quick talk guide on it. Let me know.
I don't know how to gauge that, but I don't know how to gauge that, but I know a couple of things. Actually, before I asked for the class, I've been doing just little background research, so I have like little knowledge, right? But it depends. If I think if you ask a couple of maybe ask a couple of questions, and if, maybe by that you can be able to judge where I am currently.
Okay. So the you understand what columns and rows are, and you understand functions, the basic
Ye-
functions.
Yes, yes.
Okay. I think we are good to roll since you are still along with Esther. So now I'll have to share my entire screen so that every other thing will have to come to play. Let me go back to okay. Think there's this cell this particular dashboard that we are made to yeah, this is a simple dashboard that we could recreate. Uh, so I'll quickly guide us on how to do this particular dashboard. Uh, Mr. Isaac has gone again. Esther,
Yes, sir.
yeah, that's what I've been
I
trying.
noticed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Network errors. So now,
So,
Network.
the
So
diagram is
now,
looking like Mission Impossible right now.
and actually, it's mission possible. Mission very, very possible. Okay, if you are talking about this being mission impossible, what would you now say about this? Esther, can you hear me? If you can hear me, let me know by your reaction. Okay, welcome back, Lady Esther. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Sorry, a call came in.
Oh, I understand. Now you are saying this dashboard is looking like mission impossible, and I'm saying it's very possible. Now, if you say this one is mission impossible, what would you say of this one? Can you see this dashboard?
Hey, God. Yes, I can.
Yeah, they are all mission
But
possible.
this seem actually seems simpler than the first one.
I did not hear you.
I said this second dashboard, this second diagram, it looks simpler than the first one.
Okay, yeah, it all depends on what your design is. Just that this particular one, there was no design, only drop. I did not do any design, any formatting. But I'll still guide you, still show you in this class how to design these two, and there are still videos for it. So
Sorry, I want to record. Class is the class recorded, right?
yeah, this one is being
This
recorded.
class is being recorded.
Let me go confirm. It's being recorded. You can see it now.
Let me practice. Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's being recorded. All right. No, back to, let me quickly go to uh WhatsApp. Let me get the, where's CIT data analytics. Okay, let me get the data that I shared, and let's quickly do small in the top two. Okay. Data, okay. Here's the data. I have to open this data now. Okay, Esther, are you with me?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Um. Now this is the, so I had to put this thing from the our WhatsApp group. So this particular data, it's a CSV data, but because my the Excel I'm using, the version I'm using, automatically detect that this is how the data should be on Excel, so it converted it. But normally this is what it looks like on CSV. It should look like, let me open a Word document, and sorry. Let me come in, let me go to this save, and I want to show you. Let me save as, okay. Let me just save it on the desktop and CIT. Okay. Now if I go to that, it's on my desktop. Now this is the data here, CITEE. Now if I open it with a notepad, you will see how it looks like. This is it on a notepad. Can you see it? Hello, Esther?
Yes. Yes, I can see.
Okay. Now this is what it looks like on a notepad. So it's a it's a CSV file. So as you can see, CSV are just in, just as the short form stands for CSV, comma separated value. That's the name. CSV, comma separated value. A CSV file, comma separated value. That's just what it means in full. CSV file are simple text file, meaning they can be opened in any text editor, like your WordPad, your Notepad, your Word. It can be opened almost anywhere. Now, one important fact about CSV, they are they are always in a tabular structure. CSV file are organized in rows and columns. Just like your data is organized in rows and columns, it makes it easy to read and manipulate in spreadsheets like our Excel that we're using now. Another thing, delimiters based. Values in each row are separated by a delimiter. That's the comma. That is why it's CSV, comma separated value. So by default, they are separated by comma. But other characters like tab, semicolon can also be used. Another important fact you need to know about CSV file, they are lightweight. CSV file don't contain formatting or metadata, making them relatively small in size. So they are lightweight. You can save maybe something in an Excel format that's like, let's say, 100 megabyte. By the time you save it as CSV, it will drop the size down to, let's say, 2 megabyte. So another good thing about CSV, the another important thing you need to note about CSV is they don't support complex data. They only handle flat data. That is data in tabular format. So they don't support nested or any other format, just flat data. So that's all for CSV.
But now if I copy this thing now and open it on an Excel, let me go back to this Excel. Let me open a new sheet now. Assuming I have this new an empty sheet, and then I go to this CSV file now. Now if I open it on an Excel, this is what it will look like. This is just a replica of what it will look like. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Isaac, welcome back. So most at times when we are not familiar with when we are not familiar with Excel, we find it difficult. Maybe they share such document with us, we'll be like, what can I do with this? How do you expect me to read this? No, you are meant to know that this is a CSV format and you can read it. It's just simple. Once you click on a cell, everything here in Excel, everything here on every line is on a particular cell. Like this cell A1 contains every data that we are seeing here on the first row. And as you can see on this in the formula bar, it contains every data on that particular row. So meanwhile in cell A2, everything on this particular line is on cell A2. Same thing goes for cell A3 and the rest. Meanwhile, if you go to some confusions there with most students is they will be like, if you go to cell B1 now, you will not find any data there. Reason is that everything is being converted to a particular cell. So everything is on one column. All this data that we are seeing that sometimes we might be like it's up to V. No, it's not up to V. Everything is on this particular A column. So, but if you want to convert it to a readable file format on Excel, we just come to, as I've highlighted this column A now, we just come to data, just come to data. On your data ribbon, you will see something, if text to column. So it will split the column based on what the criteria that is being supplied. Now, if I click on text to column from data, you will see the limited fixed width. What we will do on fixed width is just we'll use our hand to separate those data. But for this particular file, we'll use the limited. And once we've selected the limited, we'll now come to next. Now, the next, you see, you will now have to select the criteria the qualifier that you want to use. Now, it's not being separated by tabs, it's not being separated by semicolon. So I have to uncheck. But it's being separated by comma because it's a CSV file. So it's comma separated. Once I highlight this comma, you see automatically the whole cell has been divided. This one has taken on a row, this one has taken a row, this one has taken a row. You can see how the data will look like. So by the time we say do next to give us every other data, if we want any adjustment or any other modification, we can still do it here. So by so doing, I'll just do finish and you can see what our data now looks like. Do you understand these steps? If you have question, let me take it again.
Yes.
You have question or you understand?
Question for me. I understand. I don't have any question from my end.
Okay.
I don't do this process. I don't have any question.
Okay. Mr. Isaac, are you good with it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Now, because I'm already familiar with this data, I'll do something. Now, if you look at this data, we have some empty cells and we have some columns that don't have anything on it. So the essence first as a data analyst, we must learn how to clean our data. That is the first aspect. Once we've been able to open our document, the next thing is to clean, because most data are always messy. They are most times they are keyed in by individuals, and someone might be rushing and just keying any figure that he likes, and you can't work with a messy data because it will affect your report, it will affect your analysis, anything you are doing. You can't just work on the messy data. As an accountant, you need to clean your data to enable you extract the information you want, because not everything here that might be needed for analysis. For instance, now this particular data is a sales data sheet that we want to extract data information. We have customers, we have dates, we have here is an empty cell, here we have the type, we have date entered, the rest. So we need to learn how to clean the data and work with the ones we want. Now, on Excel, there's this thing. If you click, if you take your cursor over your cursor between the any row between a column A and B. This is column B, this is column A. Now, if I hover my cursor, my mouse around this, you'll see a tiny a plus sign, kind of a plus sign. So what this does now, it will automatically align the format so as to take everything in that particular cell. Now, for instance, on cell A2, we have January 2023 to January 2024, but in this formula bar. That is to say, everything January 2023 to January 2024 is on this cell A2. If you come to cell B2, nothing is there. It's an empty cell. It's an empty cell. So, but you can see that this data on cell A2 now transferred inside into this cell B2 because there is no information there. Now, if I add an information in cell B2 now, let's say for instance let me just say I just add 1 2 3 or 1 3 and enter, you see automatically this data in cell A1 is now automatically adjusted. It has been shrinked to only stop it. It's now limited to the age, to this cell, to this column box. Don't know if you understand. Hello.
I understand.
Okay.
Are trying to, how do I put it, make all information in A to show and not overshadowing B2,
Okay, sure. Now,
right?
yes. Now let me remove it back. Which one am I opening? Let's save. Now, now on Excel, you can now if you look at cell A3, you can see every information. This is only for practice and learning purpose. Let me increase it a bit. You can see it says this is on cell A3. It says this is only for practice and learning purpose. So now, and you see this information as is long enough. It has even entered E. It ended on E on column E. You can see it is stopped here. But note, everything is just here. It's only transferred into this place because there are no data in all these cells. That's why we'll be able to see the full text as I explained. So this one too, on this date column here now, this entered on this column. You can see this one hash 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 hash. This happens in Excel a lot because the data there is hidden because it doesn't have enough space to show the whole data. So that's why it's like that. It happens a lot, but it's not error. So back to the point is this: to make to separate, automatically align your text just over around the two column, just like now A and B. You see this plus sign. Once I double click it, it will automatically adjust the format. Now look at it. Can shift everything, making everything on this particular column to now be visible. Do we get that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, next, instead of me doing it one, I won't be doing it one for A and B, and that one for B and C, and that one for C and D. No, I can just come over here. I click on this. Now it will select everything on my document. Then I will just over around any two column and do that. Automatically, everything will now be separated, and you can now see all the data as full. No one is obstructing each other. You can see the whole data. It will only stop where the last data stop, just like when you see on Port Harcourt here. It stopped on the Port Harcourt because that means Port Harcourt is the longest data. Meanwhile, you can see a lot of space on this particular on this column. That's to say the last data in this in a particular cell is up to this length. So that's why it's like that. So now back to cleaning. The first thing is to look at our data and see if where the areas will be removing your necessary data. Now, normal for me, I usually come to filter to just understand, to give me a brief understanding of what my data looks like. Now, if I come to this filter, I just go to data, go to filter and filter it. So it will now give me a summary of what I have in each particular column. Like on this column B now, I can come to filter now and do to now give me a summary of what I have. Now you can see from the drop down menu coming up there, it says I have invoice and I have blanks. So those are just the two summary of the whole thing inside that particular type column. Now, meanwhile, if I go to this place, it will still tell me now it has summed it up. It say I have data for 2024 and 2023. Can see I have data for 2024, 2023. I can click on this mouse, it now give me the drop down of the data that I have. So that's the normal way I usually do once I'm doing my cleaning. So the next thing is to know the length, how lengthy my data is. Now, if I instead of scrolling down like this, it will take a lot of time. I don't know how long this data is. So instead of doing that, I only click on my keypad, shift and control. Once I hold shift plus control, which is what I wrote down here, shift plus control, shift control plus the down arrow plus down arrow. So if I hold shift control plus down arrow, it will take me down to the last cell. You can see this is where my data ends. So shift control helps me to do. If I still want to move up, I will only still do that shift and control up arrow key to take me back to the first. So moving ahead, let me go back down. Now we can look at this other one and look at there's simple function that will normally enables us to know maybe the number of blanks that we have on our cells on our sheet. So it's just using equals to, I said it earlier, once you're writing your command, you have to use the equals command. So equals to count blanks to give you, it will count, it will now ask you the range. But our data is starting from a this particular row. We are in column A. This is column A, this is B. So we are in column A. So we'll just write A, and A1 is the header, and A2, let's just say A1 is to, that is the first row, that's A1. Then the last row, which is this A 17,850 836, will close. Now it's telling us that we have 17,832 number of blanks. So I can drag this formula down to the end of the set. You say, okay, this one we only have three blanks. We have three blanks here. Here we have 99 blanks, and so on. So that's what that function does, the count blank function. Count blank. It counts the number of blanks in a particular row, in a particular column in your data. So that's what it does. Now let me go up, Control Shift up arrow. Now the next thing, instead of this long scrolling, there's something we need to know which is very vital if you are working with any of our data, to enable us scroll between pages. Like now, if I move like this, you can see the whole sheet is moving in. So I wouldn't want something like that. And if I move down, this one will still go up. I can no longer see the header. So there's something in Excel that is called freezing. So now if you go to view on your data ribbon, this is home, this is view. After that, after review, you have view. Now if you click on view, you have freeze pane. So what this freeze pane does, it freezes your pane based on the criteria selected. You have the freeze pane. This freeze pane is only the first option there, takes care of anywhere your cell is. Based on the cell that is being selected, it will freeze from the top, and anything from top it will freeze it, and every other thing beside before the cell will be freeze. So this one, freeze top row, will only freeze the top row irrespective of where your cell is, your selection is. Meanwhile, freeze first column will automatically freeze the first column. Just like now, if I say freeze first column, you see a tiny line highlighted. Okay, let me remove it for clarity on freeze. Now our light, or I'll have to remove the grid line so to help my explanation. Now you can see the whole grid line have been removed. Now this is where I clicked C6. Now if I go to freeze pane and then I click freeze first column, it will automatically freeze the first column irrespective of where my selection is. Now you can see a tiny line here, a straight line here. That means automatically this is a column, like I explained. So it has automatically freeze this particular column. So even if I move like this, that particular column that is freeze will not move. Now back to freeze pane. Meanwhile, let me unfreeze. Now if even irrespective of where your selection is, if I come to this, the second option, freeze top row, it will only freeze this top row, row 1. Now freeze top row, you can see now it has frozen the first row. You can see that tiny line. That is how you know that this particular cell is being frozen. Now on freeze back. Meanwhile, this other one, the first option, it takes care of where your cell is selected. Now because I selected, let's say I selected Ade, for instance. Now if I come to freeze pane and I click this first option, it will automatically freeze everything before Ade. That's from the row side, and everything before, it will freeze everything before Ade, both from top and side. You can see the line that has been, so it has frozen everything here. Everything here is freezed. That is what it means. Everything here is freezed, and everything here is freezed. Now if I move my, so you can see everything is freezed, and even if I move down, the top row will not move. Do we get?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I think Mr. Isaac is still battling with his network. Now, but Esther, you know these freeze panes now, do you?
Actually, I do.
Huh?
Yeah.
So now, can I book back my grid line?
Yes.
Okay. Now the grid line is back. Now looking at this now, this is where they let me freeze this part. Freeze. uh, Now I had to freeze the first header. This is my first row, so as to enable me. So this is my header. So I had to freeze and now make this both control B X. Highlight it and this is what I did. Highlight and control B to bolding it. So now even if I scroll down, I will still have my header will still be there for me to see and know the rows, the data that I'm working with. So can see I can know all those parties being freezing. I can now know what I'm working with. So now as we can see now, even if you look at this, you will see you have blanks. You don't have any important data in this place, in this particular column. So that is where data analysis comes from. You have to delete and select every any non-important data. Like this now, this particular two rows, you can see nothing. We don't have any information necessary here. So we'll start by removing. I had to remove that one because they are not important and I did not delete any data, any important data. Now this one we only have blanks, invoice, and we have one. Like I told you, this is a sales dash, it's a sales data, and we only want to know the outcome of the sales and how who are those generating those sales and how the sales is being done. On the type, we already know if you are buying anything, if you are making purchase, you will be issued an invoice. So this data only takes care of that. The type is this an invoice. So we already know all these data here are invoice. You can see this is invoice, this is the date and the time the user typed it on the system. This is the actual date it was on. This is the invoice number. This is the name of the customer and the rest. So looking at this, we won't be needing this particular column. So right click, we click on it, we right click and delete. Same thing goes here, right click and delete. Now if you look at this data, you see last modified by, and you see um date. They are both talking about the same thing. Now last modified by and date, this is last modified by, this is date. The difference between last modified by and enter stroke last multiplied by is just the timestamp. You can see this timestamp, it's all the time, just like when this class now, maybe when you sent a message, it has to take record of the time, but we don't have anything to do with time, but we have something to do with date. Since we have a date column here, um so we have to remove this one because we are not working with anything time. So but do you understand? Esther, can I go on? Knock knock. Esther, are you in the class? Esther Okunaya. Oh, Esther has gone. Okay. Now back to what we are saying. Now, if I can still split, like I told you, the split selection, I don't have anything to do with this. I can remove it. But let me quickly do something on the split for us to understand. Now, for this split, I can click on this column, go to my data, come to test to column. Now split. What am I splitting by? Now I don't want to split, I want to split by space. Now you can see it has split because I want to split those time. Now you can see it has splitted both the date and the time. Can do next and finish. You can see it has separated the time. So do you understand? Let me see your reaction. Okay, fine. So that's just what I want you to understand. Data analytics is very simple. You don't allow anybody to tell you that it's difficult. It's very simple. Anybody can do it, provided you give it your attention, your time, your knowledge. Still,
So,
you're back.
sorry about that.
Now it's
Yeah.
well. Now you can see my screen, right?
Yes, I can.
Now let me quickly do go back on this particular. I I was saying this is last entered and last notified. The difference between entered and last notified and date is because this one has a timestamp and this why this one don't. And we don't have anything to do with time. So we won't be needing this particular column. But before I remove it, I want to do a quick explanation because I did something on I taught us on showed us something on separating while I was importing this particular data on splitting our column. So now if I go to this particular, as I've highlighted this particular column, now going back to test to column, remember this data now, we have let me cancel. We have the date, we have the but in between the date we have a space before the time, we have a space. You can see the data here. So you can see we have it inside here. We have the date, space, time, space, AM and PM. Think you can see it, Esther.
Yes, I can.
Now let's now split this row with this space. Now I've clicked it. Now it's next to come to this text to column. Coming to this text column, still on delimited, we come to next. Now this is the data. Now I want to split by space. Once I click space, you can see our data has been splitted by space. So it will look through the data, look at it, and anywhere it sees space, it will split it from there. So you can see the output now. So this is the output. It has splitted both the date and the time. Even if we want to work with time, we've separated the time. We can still modify work with this time, assuming we want to work with time. So data analysis is very simple. Anybody can do it, but it's only because it's only the only condition there, it requires your time, your consistency. It's consistency that makes you perfect. You work on something, you progress, you go into error, you debug the error, and the outcome is just very simple. But your time, data cleaning, data analysis, the thing that takes much time is data cleaning, because once your data is messy, you have to do the cleaning before doing. Cleaning takes almost 60% of the work. Analyzing that takes the rest. The design is just based on, if you already have a template, the design is simple. So now, like I was saying, I won't be needing this all these columns now because I have a date column that I have to delete. Now we look at this that I have here number. These are just the invoice number and it's a whole lot. These are just invoice number. I won't be needing these two because I don't have anything to do with invoice number, except otherwise maybe they ask you to look at for a particular invoice number. But for now, we won't be needing anything invoice number. I have to delete. Now if you can see, now we have the name and the source name. Looking at this data, they are both the same thing. You can see MD, MD, OB, OB. They are just replic. This is just replica of this, so I have to remove one. It's all optional, the one you need to remove. So I'm removing that. Now we have, let me look at what we have here. We don't have any important information here, so I have to remove this. uh, Here are just locations. Okay, this should be location. This name contact, you can see it's blank. There's nothing, no data in this place, so we remove it. Delete. Memo, actually, just like the name implies, memo is just an extra information of something. That's what memo, you can see. And one canton of Anasi, Amara, Cash, just extra information to guide. So we won't be needing the memo because we only want to display the sales analytics, the sales dashboard. So we won't be needing that. So you can see now we have date and we have ship date, and we can see this information is just the same here. So now I have to remove this also. So here I have paid through and I have pay met. This should be payment met, payment. Is that method? No, payment method. So they are both the same thing, pay through and payment method. So I remove this. Now I have this also, select and blanks. So it's all blanks. I'll have to remove this one too. So here, opening balance, debit, credit, amount, balance. We can see the amount, the debit and the amount are the same thing. So we have to use one. I don't have anything to do with the opening balance and the rest. So I have to remove this because I was not asked to do any work on opening balance. So I only work, our target is just to give the sales and give analysis of how the sales is. So we don't have anything to do with their balances for now. So we have to remove this and use amount. So this balance, average day to pay are for accountants. So these are information for accountant, but we're not working anything on the account. We only want to display the sales analysis, to give analysis of the sales. So I have to remove the balance and the average days to pay. So our data is looking okay. So let me see what's on page. We have paid, unpaid, and we have blanks. So since we've done this cleaning now, let's go to the end and see what we have. If we still have blanks, so you can see now we don't have blanks here. You still remember this particular count formula we use there, this function we use there, count blanks. Huh?
Yes.
Okay, now so what I will do, there's what we call, we can copy a function, we can drag the function. It's all we call in Excel, it's called cell referencing. So if you hover around your data, this cell, you can see the color of the bars of my arrow cursor is changing. Now if you come here, you see it has now changed to a tiny plus. So if I now drag, I click and hold, I will now drag. So you can see this is just called cell referencing. It will take the pattern of the previous cell and it will still drag it along. It will replace it with this thing, with this particular cell. Now this is, if I press my F2, you see it selected all this. If I come here, press F2, selected all this. It will only make it will copy the function, the formula here on this cell down to here. So that's what cell referencing is. Though we have absolute referencing and the rest. So for now, let's deal with this cell referencing. So we can see now this location, we have 6,249 blanks. So that means our location have enough blanks. So this is total. We won't be needing anything with the total. So we have to remove it, delete. So you can see now the only place we have blanks and we have it in a whole is on this location. Meanwhile, if you that's the essence of looking at through your data. So now you can see if you are looking at it like this, you think your data is filled, but that count blanks option helps us to know that this our data, we still have errors. So for now, just for practice sake, let me introduce something. Now we have the name, we have the location. Okay, these are the items. Let me add a quick one. Name, insert. Let me add gender, gender. Now, gender is usually male and female. Now for location, since we are looking at location, location has 6,000 blanks as we sort through our data. Sorry, 6,000 blanks. So, but let me select this. There's remove duplicate, and we'll see the locations that we have, the unique location. What I did here is just I clicked on this cell, Control C. I click on the column, Control C, come. I did Control V, that I paste it there. Then I'll go to on still your data ribbon. There's what we call remove duplicates. So I want to see the unique values that I have. So I want to remove the duplicate and see the unique values that I have there. So now once I click on this unique, it will now ask me which column. So I will check this column I so as to use my data as header. Okay. So you can see the duplicate has been removed and we don't only have this unique 18 unique values remaining. So the function is still there. This particular function, you can see it's still there. So now the F2, the one is referencing, making reference to that we have one blank is this particular blank here. If we replace this thing with something like, let's say, do we have which? Okay, if I replace it with something like Lagos now, the blanks will go away. You can see it's now zero. We don't have any blank. So let's look at this city to populate here: Lagos, Aba, Port Harcourt, Calabar, Aba, Oron, Enugu, Ebonyi. Okay, these are names. So these are names. Let me remove this name. You can see for I don't need this. Sha. So now why am I doing this? Let me remove this. I want to um fill this particular data, all those empty cells with this data. But it's just for learning purpose. It's nothing. Just this is just for learning purpose. It's not. We are not meant to do it in the real world. In such situation, what we do, we will make a request telling them this data, some of the locations are not complete. We don't have enough data. We'll make a complaint. We'll give out our report, or they will also get back to us with a complete data. But just for learning purpose, for analysis, I'll have to populate this data and fill those empty cells. So delete. Let me just use location, copy and paste here. Now there's a function. Let me introduce a function in Excel. It's called random. This is what random does. Run run between. We have run between. So what run between does, it returns a random number between two numbers. You have to select give two conditions. That's the bottom number and the top number. It will now give you a random number. Now assume I want a random number between 10 and 20. Once I do enter, it will give me a random number between 10 and 20. Now it gives me 17. Excuse me. If I do anything, those random number will still be changing. So that is what it does. So that is random number. Now let me use, because I want to use two function. Let me give you another one. Index is equals to index. So what this index does, you have to specify the array. The array is also a range of data, definitely a range of same data type. Now assuming I want to make reference to Uyo here, this particular Uyo. Now it will ask you to select the array. Array can be of different color. Let's say I want to make reference. Now let me just select from here. So I'll make, now this highlighted table is the array that I've selected. Now having selected the array, comma, it will ask for the row number. Now where do I want to make reference to? Like I said, I want to make reference to Uyo. Now making reference to Uyo, now I have to know where is Uyo located, on which row number. This is row 1, this is row 2, this is row 3, this is row 4, row 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So Uyo is located on row 13. I have to write 13, comma, which column number? This is column 1, H is column 1, I is column 2, J is column 3, K is column 4, L is column 5. I have to write 5, close. If I enter, it will go give me Uyo. Do you understand, Esther?
Sorry, can you recap?
Huh?
Can you come again?
Okay, now let me do a simple one. Now, if I come now, let me go. Assuming I want to make reference to Port Harcourt. Now, let me paint Port Harcourt for. Assuming I want to make reference to Port Harcourt. We have. I told you this is column. This is a column, and this is row. Now, this is column. This is row 1, row 2. That's column 1, row 1, column 1, row 2. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the rest. Now, assuming that I don't want, let me just, now on here, I want to call for Port Harcourt using index. I'll do equals to index array. Array is just a range of numbers, a range of data of the same data. If I come to this, let me say I select from here now. That is the array, that is the area that I want to select from. That's the area of concentration now. Alege, welcome. Now, having selected that, I will do comma, because if you are working with your own system, you see,
Good evening, sir.
yeah, good evening.
Yes.
You see index, array, row number. So a comma denotes in Excel, why writing a function on Excel, a comma denotes that I'm done with this particular line. I'm done with this particular criteria. Move to the next. So having selected this, I will use a comma. It will now go back and say, okay, select the row number. This row number we are talking about, this is row 1. Lagos is row 1. Aba is row 2. Port Harcourt is row 3. I'll do 3. Now, if I say comma, this column number is optional. Once you see on your Excel, you see something, you see that square bracket, that means optional. Optional in the sense that if this criteria is provided, if it's not, you can go on. I will explain. Now, for now, it's optional because I only have one column selected. The range of data that I selected, the range of my selection is only on a particular column. And two columns we are not selected. Now I can only say, I can close it and enter. It will give me Port Harcourt. Do you understand this?
Yes.
Okay. Now let me still pick that part, Port Harcourt, but this time around I will select more than one column. Now let's say equals to index. Now the array that I want to select. Now I will say I will select from here now. This is the area, the range I want to make of my selection, comma. Now the row number we want now, because I selected now this time around I selected more than, I had to select include the header just for learning. Now if in your selection, if you are counting your row, you have to count from your header, from the area that you selected. So since my header was selected, my header automatically becomes row 1, Lagos becomes row 2, Aba becomes row 3, Port Harcourt is now row 4. So the row number is 4, comma. Now column number. Now somebody on the class, Alege or Esther, what is the column number that I will have to make reference to? Help me. The column number that I have to make reference to.
4.
4. This is column 1. F is column 1.
Oh, 1, 2,
G
3, 4,
is column
5,
2.
6, 7, 7.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 7. Now if I press 7 and I close and enter, it will give us Port Harcourt. Do you now understand it?
Yes.
And that was why I asked for our laptop, so that I'll only be telling you the commands you write, and I'll be guiding you on it. So it won't be just me working. Okay, Alage, are you with us?
Yes. Yes, I'm it is.
Okay, Alage, are you with your laptop?
I'm with it presently.
Are you working with it now?
No, I'm still trying to set up.
Okay. Okay, while we're working now, I would love you to set up. Once you are done setting up and you are connected, I'll give you the approval. You have to share your screen. Is it connected to the net?
I will connect it as well.
Yeah, so that you can share your screen and we'll work with you, so that the class can move at your pace. Because if I'm working, I have to be fast and the rest. Okay.
Okay, so
So now back to our analysis. Now this time around on the location now, I want to populate. I just taught us about random number equals to rand. I showed us the round between function, and I showed us the index function. So that's the two functions that I introduced us to today. The okay, index, round between, and I think the count blanks. Yeah, I think introduce us to the count, to these three functions. So these are the three functions I had to introduce us to. So now let me use the round between and index together. In Excel, we can use two functions. We can even use 3, 4, 5 long functions, but those are advanced. So because you have to understand what they do. So because I want to use these two functions, I have to explain them one after the other before making use of it. I have to explain the round between and the index. Now let me make use of these two functions, the index and the round between here, equals to index. But before then, now let me explain. On this data, on this our location data, we have how many locations here? We have Lagos, we have Aba, we have Port Harcourt, Calabar, Abak, Oron, Enugu, Ebonyi. Let me just change it to, let's change this one to Ondo, We have Enugu, Ebonyi, Kotekpene. Let's place Ogun, Uzakoli. Let's change this to um, Benue, Umahi. Okay, Bakeleke, Kano. I think these are okay like this. Okay, Abia. Mm, Kaduna. Okay, I'm just giving it a random name. So now I want to pick a location from here. Now we say we have 1, 2, 3. If you look on the video, I have it highlighted. Now if you look on this, I don't know if you can see my cursor here. On my cursor, there is a cursor. Can you see my cursor here on this count? Let me know if you can see it.
Yes, yes, yes.
Now you say we have 13 datas, 13 datas. So that's what it means. That means we have 13 locations on this data, on this particular one. Now you have 13 data selected. Now I want to make use of this run between an index. So one for explanation. It's not needed, but just for explanation. Now this is equals to index. Now the array, this is the array we are looking at. This is the location that we are looking at. So I've selected the array. I have to do comma. Now the row number. Instead of the row number this time around, I will now introduce the round between. Now I'm making use of the round between now. Round between. Now round between, it says round between bottom and top. So I want to round between, I want it to give you us a random number between a random location. Lagos, Abuja, Lagos, Ebonyi, Port Harcourt, from this selected array. So I will now say the bottom there, bottom is just the least number there. The bottom there is 1 and the top is 13. Vice versa, we can still change it. We have Lagos and the last we have 13, which is Kano. So I want a random number between this data. So if I now close, I will now close that means I'm done with the round between. To ask me the column, but this since is I only did for one particular column, so I wouldn't be giving it another criteria because my selection is already done. The column one is optional, it's just one column. I'll close, enter. You can see it has now given us Abia at random. Do you understand?
Hmm. Yeah. So excuse me, sir. Yeah. So please, I don't know how do I get the data that you're working on, like a copy of data I'm working on now.
The
This is
copy
like
is
my
online.
first.
It's online. It's in the group. Are you on the group?
I'm on the group.
Yeah, send a message now. Let me drop it on your particular. Send a message to the group. Let me know. See you.
Okay.
Just send a message. I will.
So
You've sent. Okay. Blue Enterprise, right?
yes, sir.
Okay. Apply privately. Let me go back to the group. Let me think the data is here on the group. Okay. Select. Forward to. This is okay. Think. All right. You now have the data. You now have the data.
Okay.
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 So once you are done, once
Okay.
you are good to go, let's know so I can stop sharing while you share. Okay. Now, back to what we were saying. Do we understand? Esther, I think you wanted to say something.
I wanted to say I understood how we got
Yes, I'm
random
trying
location.
to. Okay, okay. I've seen it. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now, if I drag down, I already told you about cell referencing. If I drag down this formula down,
It will give random locations for all.
now, why do you think we have zeros and blanks and all this data?
That's what I wanted to ask. So
Okay. Now, in Excel, this is what there is what we call I think you have to okay. In Excel, there's just like I taught you on freezing. Hmm? In Excel, there's what we call keeping constant. Eh, So keeping
what?
constant,
Okay.
constant. Let me write.
Okay.
So constant. So we achieve this by using this dollar sign as control B. Dollar sign. That's one of the magic in Excel. If you want to keep a particular, that's like freezing, just like I taught you freezing a pen. So in Excel too, we can freeze row wise, we can freeze column wise. Just like I taught you freezing in Excel, like this particular sales now, this back is freeze. The first row is freezed, and the last modified is also freeze. The column A is freeze, and the first row is also freeze. So in Excel too, we have keeping constant. We have constant. So this dollar denotes that if we have a data, if we have this and A, and we have maybe uh, we have this A 3, control G, control V. Now I'll explain. This one means we will freeze that cell column wise. If the oh Lord. So can you see what I wrote down there? So if you see a particular
Particular.
yeah, if meanwhile we have these two, we have this A um we have two. That's keep both. That's to keep both columns and row constant. That is how it's done. That is the explanation. I will show you what it does here now. Now, why do we have constant? We have blanks on location here. Let me. Why do we have blanks on location? We have Benue, Ebonyi, we have blanks, and we have Kano, we have blank. Now look at this. This is cell E2. Let me scroll down a bit for you to. Now this is cell E2. Sorry, cell E2 is being clicked. Then this on this cell E2, if I press my F2 button, F2 will show you the formula on this data. on inside this cell. Now if I press my F2 on my keyboard, I've pressed F2. Now you can see the array that was selected. Can you see it? Hello?
Yes, I can. I can
Now,
see it.
okay. Now you notice it's selected from Lagos down to Kano. Now if I come to the E3 and press my F2, what did you observe?
It's related from Abia to after Kano, which is an empty cell.
Yes, exactly. So that thing keeps, when it comes to cell referencing, that thing keeps going like that, down, down. If I scroll down to Benue here and press my F2, you will see it has selected the next line. It will only be copying, making reference to the next form line, the next line down to. So that is what is happening. So it has selected, it has left now if I come to this last one here and press F2, you see it has left the whole range of our data. So they are non constant. So this is where this formula now comes into play, this dollar sign. That's the magic. Now if you know, here this is where the array, this is L2 down to L14. Now if you come to this our formula, we can see the index L2 down to L14 there. So if I come to there and place the dollar sign, because I don't want this data to move irrespective of how I'm dragging it, I just want it to be constant. If I press my, if I add the dollar sign here, now I'm adding the dollar sign and press enter. Now if I drag this formula down again, we now have data there. Now if you look at this, the last data here, if I press the F2, you see everything is constant. My data range, my range of data is no longer moving. The array that was selected is no longer moving. Anywhere I go, it's constant. Even if I drag it to another place, it will still be constant. It will not change. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. Now there's another way to use this. Now let me write this. There's a shortcut to this, to using the dollar sign. The dollar sign is, if you press your shift and 4, it will bring that shift plus 4. That will give you the dollar sign. But you can use your F4 key to get the dollar sign too. Now if I come to my location now, let me clear all this back. Now assuming I have, let me use it again, index. I will select my array. Now instead of typing the shift 4, I will just press the F4 key. It will automatically add the dollar sign on those cells. Now this is, I've pressed the F4. You see what happens? It automatically adds the dollar sign to that data. So I can now comma and do my random, round between 1 comma 13, and now close and enter. So it has given me a random number. I can just double click and it will fill the whole set. But note that this is random. That means anything I do, it will change. If I type anything, it will change. It will still be, it's because it's random. So I can stop this just by copying Control C. And if I'm pasting, I will not paste. Like I told you, if we have Control C, if I come here, I do Control C, and maybe I do Control V here, it will only paste the formula for me. But I don't want a formula to be pasted, because I don't want the formula to be cut, to be transferred. I want my data, this particular data that it has given me. I don't want a formula. So once I Control C, click on where I want to paste it, I'll come to this paste option. We have paste value. So once I click on paste value, it will paste the value. You can see there are no more formula in this cells. It has replaced the formulas with the values. Do we get that to that extent before I progress? Hello? Hello, are we together? Esther and again.
Yeah. Yes, I got the data, but I'm just trying to process because what I'm seeing is different. I know I've missed a lot because this is the first class I'm attending.
Okay.
So,
Okay, can you share your screen? Should I stop? I want to stop sharing so you can share your screen. Can you share your screen now? Let me guide you.
work with
Okay,
data.
I will stop sharing. When you are sharing, let me know. Are you sharing now?
I want to share.
I'll stop sharing. So you share.
I'm trying to. Using my laptop, I want to connect.
Is your laptop connected? Are you using your laptop to join the class? Did you join the class with your laptop?
Let me end it there now. My laptop.
I didn't get that.
I said I want to leave now, then I'll join using my laptop.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Esther,
Sir,
did you leave the meeting? I was not hearing you again.
I didn't. My place became noisy, so I had to shout to get
Okay.
decorum. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now, like I told you, this is what the other I realized her name is Alege is also Esther. Esther is also battling with what I showed you the first time because I what the file I shared with her is a CSV file. So maybe she has opened it and it's giving her error. She could not interpret it. So I think that's the error the first error she has encountered and she's asking us to
Now
guide
the
her.
data is not arranged.
Yes, the data is not arranged. She's saying that what she's saying is different from what we are working on.
Okay.
Maybe I should continue sharing till she joins the class.
No problem.
Okay, she has joined. Alec, are you okay? Are you with us now? Are you ready to share? Alec, are you ready to share?
Yes,
All right,
I'm
now,
ready.
okay, the floor is all yours.
Is it 7 days? Um, okay, so I'm trying to create scenarios. Okay.
We are still waiting for you.
Yes, I'm trying to. Okay. I'm trying to get where I can like click on for to share. It's not bringing out.
Okay, now on your let me on this call, go to the call. On the call,
Okay. Yes.
you see a button that after the emoji button, the next button is the sharing button. After the emoji button, the next button is the presenting button. That's before the lifting of hands.
Okay. They will showing entire screen.
Yeah,
Okay.
share entire screen so that I can be able to guide you in case it's wrong. Share entire screen.
Okay, sir. Can you see it now?
Nothing is up yet, but I can see that your screen. Okay, I can see it now.
Okay.
Now click on that ignore and click on hide sharing. That hide. Go to hide. The next thing is to minimize this your browser and go to your Excel, and let's see what you have.
This is what I have.
Yeah, the scattered information.
This was the data that was
Yes,
sent.
this is the beginning of how we started what it was treating.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, I'm with you.
okay.
But I don't know whether it's my data or what. I cannot see your screen again, but I know you are sharing. So what is it? You can just explain to me. So let me guide you.
Who is taking the lead?
You see,
I said, who is taking the lead? Like, who is.
Esther, can you guide me?
Mom, me? Oh, God. I didn't know I was going to do this after class. Mom, your screen is blank. You're no longer sharing your screen. Okay, I can see it now.
Showing the phone that I'm Are you seeing it now? It's showing that I'm sharing right now.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. How about now?
Yes.
Okay.
And sir, to answer your question, no, I cannot guide you because I have not practiced and it has not. practice makes perfect, and we are perfect.
Okay, now
So I know the first thing we have to do is to separate the information using
yes,
commas and everything. Cha.
yes, yeah. No, it's already separated. It's already separated. The next thing you should do is to clean. Okay, click on this. After before cell one, before row one, there's one, and that's between row one and column A. That line, that small bar there, that small angle, click on it. Not that one, no. That
Okay.
one before one, the box before one.
On the partial triangle.
Yes. Oh yeah. Now double click on between the two column A and B. Double click on the angle between the line between. Yes. Double click on it. Okay. Now your data has splitted your data. This has aligned it to the column width.
Okay, sir.
Mhm. So now delete the first three column, that's A, B, C. Okay, A, B, C, D. Delete A, B, C, D column. That's click on A and down to D and right click and delete.
I click on A.
Then click on A, column A.
Okay. And delete.
Yeah, it's only A that was selected, right?
Yes, A, yes, just A.
Uh, then delete. Then do same for B. You can select B. I mean B is now A, shey.
You still should, A is blank now.
A is blank now.
Yeah, there's nothing under A.
I cannot see. I can see your screen, but my network is a bit down now. I don't know why it's down like that. Okay. You say A is blank now. A should be B now.
I guess it's just the content under A, but the alphabet is still there.
And it's the alphabet that asked you to click. The alphabet, not the content.
It's
Let me
not
switch to
better.
MTN. Enter is now messing up. Star 919 star.
Exactly.
Have you been able to solve it?
The invoice has now gone to A,
Yes, that
like a
was what I
shift.
want. Now, what you did there, now do it for the invoice that is now A. Select it. Now select the new A and B. Then select A, B, and C columns and delete.
And delete it.
Mm, Okay.
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 I've done that.
Okay. Now, mm, what is it? Let me look at your data and see what. Now delete. Select row 2 and 3 and delete.
Done.
Okay, fine. Okay, now let's go. Look at that data. You see you have a number. Remove the column D, the number. Remove it. That's click on column D and
Okay,
delete.
I should
Yes,
delete
like that.
column B.
Yeah, click on column D, remove it, delete it.
Like the old number, the content
Yeah,
under
the whole
B.
content on column D.
Okay.
No, as in right click and delete, not the content, the whole column.
Okay.
Delete. Yes, that's what I meant. Okay. Now you can see on D and C, you have the same data. You have
Yes.
empty. Yes. So remove C, delete C, delete column C. That's the whole C.
Okay. Thank you.
Done. Okay. Do same for D and E. Do same for memo. Okay. Now instead of doing it one one, select it together. Select now D, E, F and delete. Okay. Okay. Now select G H I and delete. Then select H and I and delete. Okay. Now your data is looking okay. Now but the challenge is you need to freeze your thing. And first go to just click on a okay, click on the first row, maybe on the name row, D1, on any of them, or even on G1. Just click on any first row,
G1.
anyone at all, any of the first row, anything on the first row. No, anything on the first row. But just click on A1. Just select A1.
Okay. Go on.
A1 is the whole thing. Now go to data on your data ribbon. Go to data on your ribbon. Go to click on data on your ribbon. The ribbon. Yours okay. Is Esther.
Sir?
No, the other Esther, Funaya.
Sir,
Okay.
Oh yeah, guide down. Tell her where is the phone.
sorry, come again.
Okay. Alege, explain
Sir?
your
After
data.
what?
Yes, I trying to get where ribbon is.
It's the top of your, should I say page?
Top of my page. Yeah.
Go up, go up, up.
Data ribbon. I want the data ribbon.
Sir?
The data ribbon.
That
That's it.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Then select filter.
data is selected.
The filter button under the ribbon. You will see filter.
I'm not seeing it.
That thing that looks like a funnel.
That looks like what?
A funnel.
Okay.
Okay. Click on
This
it.
I should. Okay.
Now, what did you notice on your data now? Come to your data and see the effect. What did you notice on your data? Uh-huh.
It had
Now,
like
yeah,
options
yes, that has give you this drop down option.
button.
Yes, that is what filter does. It just give you a quick summary of your each data in in the column. So you can do your filtering, your sorting, but we won't do that now. Now the next thing I guided them on is on. Okay, Esther, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, so we want to take permission to leave the class. I have another engagement in the next 10 minutes.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
today's class.
All right, thank you. We've even exceeded our class. So
Break the door. Sir?
I say we've even exceeded our class, but notwithstanding. Okay, and again you joined late, but notwithstanding, I'll keep that.
Thank you, sir.
Uh, so now go to okay. Now go to
Q.
view on your data ribbon. Go to view on your ribbon data
Yeah.
ribbon. Yes, you will see view.
Okay.
On your data you have the home, insert, page, layout, formula, data, review and view. So go to view.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, now we have freeze pane. Go to freeze panes. Freeze pane, almost the
Free
last.
space.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Now we have freeze panes, we have freeze top row, we have
Okay.
freeze first
Let's
column.
go.
So freeze first column automatically freeze the first column. Freeze top row automatically freeze the top row. Meanwhile, freeze pin freeze based on the cell that is being selected. If you select maybe for instance you select B, let's say you select C2, it will freeze anything before C2 and above everything before above C2. That is how
Yeah.
it works. Now
Okay.
take your cursor before you click on that freeze thing. Bring your cursor to C2.
C2.
Mm, okay, click C2. Then go to freeze pane. Okay, click on the first one, freeze panes. So if you notice, there's a line that's a straight line, a thick straight line running from the first row down to the. Did you notice it? Or
Yes.
okay. So same thing also happens on. Okay, then on that your view, click on that, check that grid lines.
On the view.
On this your ribbon, you will see grid lines. Grid lines.
Okay.
Check. Click. Okay, now you can use no. Check it. I don't want to uncheck it. I mean to say. Now you can you see the
Okay.
line clearly.
Yes.
So
Yes, sir.
that was the essence of why I asked you to go and uncheck it. So you can check it back.
Okay, sir.
Okay, now that being said, now we are done with this. Now go to okay, click on the date cell. Just click a cell on the date.
Do it faster.
Mm. On your keyboard, press Shift Control and down arrow. Shift Control and down arrow. Press them together. The shift can press the shift
Shift, control,
and down arrow and
no.
button arrow. Yes. Now it has taken you to the last page. So the last page on that
Okay.
cell. Then select that select that for select the last cell there. Now scroll down. Now let me, now this is what, on write a, do equals to,
I didn't get that one.
write equals to the equals command.
Equals to
Yeah, on Excel, if you want to call a function, you have to start with the equals command.
equal to some. Okay.
Yes, equals, write count. There's a function called count blanks. Count, continue writing count, count. And there's count blank. There's this count blank there. And
Yes, count one.
click on that count blank. Or your tab, press your tab key. Then the next is asking you to select the range. So type A2, write A2,
A2.
uh, column. No, not semicolon. Click on the last cell, that's 17,833. Enter.
Okay.
Close it and enter. Okay, enter. Now what is telling you? It's telling you on this cell, on this column, you don't have any blank column. You don't have any blank data in that selected range. So click on that
Okay.
zero cell, that cell that is zero, that you just finished writing on.
Okay. So.
Now take your, over your cursor around that dark shaded portion. The plus, the big plus will change to a tiny plus. No, not that one, not that plus. There's another plus that you change. Over it, close to the at the head, that plus. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Click and hold.
I should click on click.
Click and hold. Have you done that?
Yes.
Now
So.
drag it down to G. Just drag it. No, not drag it across. No,
So
no, no,
G.
no, no. Head now, drag it down across.
Okay.
No, not that one. That not down. Drag it across.
Mm, okay.
Drag it down to G. Continue, continue, continue. Oh yeah, stop. No, stop at G. I say you should stop at G.
Okay. Edit. Awesome. Okay. Long drag. Okay. Stupid.
Stop. Sorry.
Okay.
Now, the data that is giving you, the output is telling you now you have zero on, you don't have any blank cell on column A, you don't have any blank cell on column B, you don't have any blank cell on D, E, F, and G, but on C you have blank cells. That is,
Okay.
so it has summed the whole blank that you have. So that is the summary that is giving you.
You
Okay.
summed up the old blank cell.
Yeah, it has summed up the whole blank. So that particular name city cell, you have name city column, you have 6,000
Mm,
something
yeah.
empty cells.
Empty
So
cells.
rename that name city to location.
I should rename.
The name city, the C1, rename it to name to location. C1, 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 name city.
Okay.
Eh, change it to location. Just rename it to location. Type location.
Oh, do I have to press that?
Okay. Now fine. Now our data is okay. It's just that the blanks that we have, we cannot work with blanks. So that was why I had to introduce a function that index and run the train. So what you do, select the C again, column C, select column C,
Okay.
control C, that's to copy, control C. Okay, now come to come to J1 and click on J1 and paste it there. Click on that cell, Control V,
P.
Control V,
V. Okay, control V.
V for van.
Yes.
Now go to data on your ribbon, go to data on your ribbon, then you still remove duplicates. After filter, after advance, after text to column, the next thing is remove duplicates. Remove duplicates. Okay, now click on it.
For columns. Okay.
Check my data as header, check the my data as header. Okay, so you now see your data, your duplicates have been removed. 17,818 duplicate value were found and removed. So 18
Okay.
unique values now removed. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
you see your blanks has automatically changed from 6,000 here to 1 because of that
Hmm.
blanks you have. So it's that's how Excel is. Excel is powerful though. So now what
Hmm.
you do is you can just change this name to any names of your choice. The location, you can change it to location of your choice. Maybe you can change it to just a location of your choice. Maybe those one that has old, from old to Chinenye, you can remove them and change it to any other location of your choice. That was what we did in that class. We just changed it to a location of our choice.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we can do that on your own. Maybe we'll still join the class tomorrow being Sunday. You hope you'll be available for class tomorrow.
Yes, I will.
Maybe we'll join. Maybe no, now where are you coming to? Don't go back.
Okay. I was trying to check the. You see, I can check the visit any.
Now just click on location. Click on location and press the down arrow key. Click on the first row. Click a cell on the first row. Yes. Then down key. Just no. Click a cell on the first row. On the first cell, click it. Then down your down arrow key. Press your down arrow key. No,
Okay.
not you didn't
Then,
get it. Click a cell on like you click yeah, click on J1. Just use your down arrow key or press enter. Okay.
okay.
So now I was saying you can change the old to any location at all. You can change every data there. Okay, on that empty cell, type in Lagos since we don't have Lagos on this data set. Type in
Okay.
Lagos on that empty cell. Just type Lagos. I Lagos.
I'm supposed to it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now on select C, column C. Select column C. Now delete. Use the no,
Delete.
not that delete. They just press your delete
The
key,
right click.
not the right click this time around. Just press your delete key on your
Okay.
keyboard. I want to delete the yes. I just want the content to be delete.
Okay.
Right. See, name the location. Forget that first cell. Name it location. I want to clean that one there. Okay. Now on the first cell, on the second, enter. Now we want to what we want to achieve now. We want to transfer these locations that we have. This location we have from Lagos down to Chinoyi. We want to transfer
Okay.
that those locations down. We want to use it to populate this location field randomly. So that is why we are using this index and this index and random function. So let's write those function again. Write equals to
Equals to.
index, index, yes, tab. Okay, just tab, press your tab key. Okay, now select Lagos down to Chinonye first. Anything. Okay, comma, rand between, rand between.
Like I should type it.
Yes, in place of row, you want to use the rand between. Then the rand between. Select it and tab. Use your tab key. Now it's asking you to select the bottom and the top row. How many data do you have here? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
So,
You have
yeah.
17. So write 1, comma, 17. I still dey class. Then close.
Okay.
Close. Then close again. Then enter. So you see, it has picked Calabar at random.
Okay.
Now go back to that. Click on that Calabar again. Go back to the first cell there. Yeah. Now go over your keyboard cursor at that edge so that that plus sign will change. Yeah. Double click. So you see, you have 0, 0, 0, 0, and the rest.
Yeah.
So that was what I was explaining earlier on. Why we use the constant.
Okay.
Mhm. So since we don't have that, press your delete key. So all those data will delete. So now let's write this function again. So write equals to,
Equals to.
then the index, then select your data.
Okay.
Cancel it and start
Oh,
again.
okay.
Oh yeah, select again. Tab. Your tab key first. If you've not done it, look at your function well before writing. Equals to, tab. Just press your tab key. Then select your,
How is it?
now this is what you do. Okay, now go back to Lagos. Then
Okay.
click and hold, don't leave, just click and hold. Have you done it?
Click, click and hold.
Then drag down. No, click and hold, don't leave it. Once you just okay, backspace once. Press the backspace once. No, backspace, not space. The backspace.
Okay. Yeah.
The
I
backspace again.
press it.
The backspace again. Then click and hold Lagos, then drag down.
Click and hold.
Then drag down. Don't leave. No, you've leaved it. Click and hold, not leave.
Choose.
Okay, now over, around, over, over, under it, just over, since you've missed it. It's normally you click and hold it, don't leave it. Once you are done with your selection, you now leave it.
No, holding it was not.
Okay. Now hover around Lagos. Now hover around it. Hover around it so that that tiny plus arrow will change. Over at the edge. No, not ahead. Now drag down.
Okay,
You can stop at you. Let's stop at for now at you. Okay. Then on your keyboard, press F4. On your keyboard, press F4. Okay. Now go back to on your formula bar. You click on that J2 on your formula bar. Not that one.
okay,
On formula box. On your formula box where you have after get
yeah,
and yes. Click on
okay,
J2. Press the F4 key.
it's okay,
Mm,
okay,
okay, now that's good. Now at the end of the formula,
mm,
write comma. Then write introduce the other function round between.
mm,
Uh, then tab 1 1 comma 12 because we have 12 locations selected. 1 comma 12. Then close it. Then close again. Okay. Enter. Exactly. Okay. Now go to that exactly that's the result and click on that and hover your go to this result. That's C2. Yes. Now take your cursor down to the edge so that you can see that. Yeah, double click. You see, it has now maintained your location. It has given you a random location.
okay,
Yeah. So that is I,
20 of the random locations,
yeah, from your data. Okay.
okay, yes,
So this class will continue again by um 5 o'clock.
five
I will
to
it's either 5 o'clock or 1 o'clock, either of the two. I will share two times. So anywhere that we have, will be available within those two time frame.
1 o'clock is not so certain, but five,
Okay, now
definitely.
the class will continue again by 5. So, but before the class, since you are sharing your screen, you'll be sharing your screen with us tomorrow. So we could run other chats. We can now do our chats.
Okay,
Why I
sir.
wanted somebody to share their screen so that I will not be too fast. So I can carry the whole class along, just as I'm carrying you along. If others are in the class, they can be guided properly like that. So you'll be
Okay,
sharing.
sir.
I want you to come to class tomorrow. But before you come to class, change this your location to any location of your choice. Instead of we have that was Akoli and the rest, change it to actual location, maybe actual states in Nigeria. And okay. So tomorrow we'll be drawing our chart. We'll draw these two charts. If time will permit, we'll draw to make two dashboards or one. Let me share my screen and
So,
show you the
so, so we said I should change the location to
yes, you can change
any.
this location here we have on J.
Okay,
We have Lagos, Aba, Port Harcourt. I say you can change it to actual locations of your choice, maybe to any place
okay,
of your choice.
yes,
Instead of
okay,
all
sir.
those Igbo names that we have there, that was
Yes,
Akoli, Abakaliki,
yeah,
can change it to
anyone,
local
okay,
location of your choice. So
okay, sir.
now I will share. You can stop sharing for now, Insta.
Okay. How do I save? Control S, abi?
Yeah,
Or does
Control
it?
S. to save. Now come to rest. Let me see. Yes.
You can't save. This is fine. Fine.
Okay. Do okay. Okay. Now save as. Where do you want to save it?
On the PC.
On the PC. Is it on your desktop, or you have a document, a file that you want to save it inside?
I can just create a file for a folder for
For it
it.
now. You can
Mm.
do it. Okay. Now it's then you want to create a folder, right? Or
Yes.
then no, don't you want to create a folder, or you want to just save it as a file?
Which is best? I
It's
don't
all
know.
it's your PC. It's sure your PC. Now if you want to add a folder, just click on that folder space, not there where you have all these folders. You just right click on it.
Okay.
Just right click, right click,
Mm.
then you see new, on new folder,
Okay.
new folder,
Mm.
new folder. The up the you see a folder now. Then select
Okay.
it, then name the folder, maybe CIT, name it
Okay.
CIT
Yes.
data analysis class or CIT class.
Data analysis.
Okay. Okay. Now then you want to save it, maybe Excel. Can save now. That one is done.
Okay.
Enter.
Enter.
Yes. Now select the folder, double click on that folder. No, not the, just double click on it. Okay, now come to the where you have the file name.
Mm.
You can now save it, sales dashboard.
Mm.
You can save it as
Save
just
dashboard.
uh,
Mm.
sales dashboard.
Mm.
Say or practice, anything at all you want to use.
Just practice.
Then now that's no, you're not done. Then
Okay.
change this from CSV to Excel. Change it from CSV. You see micro, no, Excel workbook. Excel workbook.
Zero. That's
Yes,
first
select.
one.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can now save. Click on
Okay.
save now. So
Okay.
now saved. Save back.
Alright. Thank you, sir.
All right. You can stop sharing. Let me show you what you will be designing tomorrow. What you will be designing tomorrow, not me.
Okay. Mm.
Okay. Okay. Now this is what I will share something now.
Okay.
This is what we'll this is what we'll be designing tomorrow. You will be designing. This is the dashboard you'll be designing tomorrow.
These diagrams.
Yes, with that particular
Oh.
data. That is what you will be designing tomorrow. I will guide you on how to do it. It's very simple. If time will permit us, we might go into this one. That's if time will permit us.
Okay.
But this is the one we'll do tomorrow. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right.